Have you ever wondered what the leader of 1.4 billion Catholics eats to fuel his day? Pope Leo XIV's meals are more than just food, they're a glimpse into his faith and mission. Stick with me, because we're diving into his daily diet, and there's a surprise waiting that'll blow your mind. Drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. What does a pope eat? It's not all fancy feasts, it's simple, meaningful, and tied to Catholic tradition. Today, we're uncovering what Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope, eats in a day. His choices reflect his role as a global shepherd, blending humility with flavors from his past. Ready to see what's on his plate? Let's start with breakfast. Pope Leo wakes early, around 5 a.m., for prayer and reflection. His breakfast is straightforward, a small bowl of oatmeal, cooked with water for simplicity. He adds a drizzle of honey from the Vatican's own beehives. It's a humble start, but there's a twist: his coffee. He sips a single, strong espresso from a classic Italian moka pot. This quick jolt keeps him sharp for morning mass and meetings. But what's next? His lunch holds a secret you won't believe. By midday, Pope Leo's been praying, leading mass, or meeting with cardinals. Around 1 p.m., he sits down for lunch, and this is where things get interesting. His meal often nods to his years serving in Peru. Picture a vibrant quinoa salad, fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, and cilantro, tossed with olive oil and a squeeze of lime. Quinoa's a Peruvian staple, and it's packed with protein to keep him going. But here's the kicker: he pairs it with a small piece of grilled fish, like tilapia. Fish isn't just food, it's a nod to the Gospels, where Jesus called his disciples fishers of men. This meal is simple but deliberate, fueling his body and spirit. Want to know the surprising way his lunch connects to an ancient Vatican practice? Keep watching. Before we get to that, let's talk about why this matters. Pope Leo's meals aren't random, they're a reflection of his commitment to faith and service. His lunch comes from the Vatican Gardens, a 57-acre green haven behind the basilica. Fresh tomatoes, herbs, and greens are grown there, hand-picked for his table. This tradition ties the Pope to the earth and the Church's roots. But there's more to his lunch, and it's tied to something sacred. He often sips a small glass of red wine, a modest one from Italy's Lazio region. This isn't about luxury, it's a quiet nod to the Eucharist, where wine becomes the blood of Christ. His lunch blends global flavors with Catholic meaning, keeping him grounded yet ready for the day's demands. Curious about his dinner? It's not what you expect. As evening falls over Rome, Pope Leo's day slows, but his meals take on a deeper tone. Dinner, around 7 p.m., is his most reflective time, after leading the Church and praying for the world. He often starts with a light vegetable soup, think zucchini or spinach, fresh from the Vatican Gardens. It's warm, comforting, and a reminder of the Church's call to care for those in need. But here's where it gets fascinating: some nights, he skips a full dinner. Instead, he might have just bread and water, a choice rooted in Catholic fasting traditions. This isn't just discipline, it's solidarity with the hungry. On other nights, he'll have a small portion of pasta, like spaghetti with a light tomato sauce, no cheese, keeping it humble. But there's a story behind his dinner that ties to his American roots, and it's going to surprise you. When Pope Leo sits down for dinner around 7 p.m., it's a moment to reflect after a day of leading the Church. His pasta, simple spaghetti with a light tomato sauce, has a special twist. The tomatoes often come from the Vatican Gardens, but the recipe? It's inspired by his Chicago upbringing. Growing up in a working-class family, he learned to love a no-frills marinara, passed down from his Italian-American grandmother. This dish isn't just comfort food, it's a reminder of family, faith, and the roots that keep him grounded as the leader of 1.4 billion Catholics. But there's more to his dinner. Alongside the pasta, he might have a small side of roasted vegetables, zucchini or eggplant, fresh from those Vatican Gardens. It's hearty yet humble, reflecting his Augustinian vow of simplicity. On some nights, he'll pair it with a glass of water infused with a slice of lemon, a refreshing touch that keeps things light. But here's a question, does the Pope ever indulge? You'll want to stick around for his desserts, it's not what you think. Now, let's talk snacks. Pope Leo's day is packed, meetings with bishops, writing homilies, praying for the world. So he needs quick bites to stay energized. Around 10 a.m., after morning mass, he might grab a handful of almonds or walnuts, kept in a small bowl in his office. These aren't just convenient, they're packed with protein, perfect for a man on the move. Sometimes, he'll pair them with a fresh apple or pear, often from the Vatican's orchards. It's a simple choice, but it echoes the Church's call to stewardship of the earth. But here's where it gets interesting, his afternoon snack. Around 4 p.m., between audiences or paperwork, Pope Leo might enjoy a small piece of crusty bread with a thin spread of olive oil. This isn't just a snack, it's a nod to the Mediterranean diet, common in Italy, and a reminder of the bread of the Eucharist. On special days, like feast days for St. Augustine, he might add a tiny slice of pecorino cheese, a rare treat. But there's a catch, his snacks aren't always predictable, and one choice ties directly to his time in Peru. Curious? Don't go anywhere. Before we reveal that, let's talk about why his snacks matter. They're not just about hunger, they're moments of pause in a demanding day, chances to reflect on his mission. Whether it's nuts or bread, each bite is intentional, tying him to the Church's traditions and the people he serves, from Rome to Brazil's 130 million Catholics. His snacks keep him going, but his desserts? They're a whole different story. If you're as hooked as I am, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more. What's your favorite snack, nuts, fruit, or something else? Comment below, you just might find your twin. Now, desserts. You might think a pope skips sweets, but Pope Leo allows himself a small treat, usually after dinner. His go-to? A single scoop of gelato, often lemon or fig, made by a local Roman gelateria. It's not indulgence, it's moderation, a way to savor life's simple joys while staying disciplined. On other nights, he might have a small biscotto, crisp and lightly sweet, dipped in a tiny cup of herbal tea, like chamomile. These choices reflect his balance, faith-filled yet human, rooted in Italian tradition but accessible to all. But here's the twist, on certain holy days, like the Feast of the Assumption, he skips dessert entirely. Instead, he offers a prayer of gratitude, sharing his portion with Vatican staff or donating it to a local shelter. This act of giving isn't just symbolic, it's a reminder of the Church's mission to serve the poor. Want to know the final piece of his day? It's a ritual that'll leave you in awe. Let's wrap this up with something special. Every evening, after dinner and dessert, Pope Leo ends his day with a quiet ritual. He sits in his private chapel, a small space lit by a single candle, and shares a moment of reflection. Before praying, he takes a final meal, a sip of water and a moment to give thanks for the day's blessings. This isn't just routine, it's a sacred pause, tying his meals to his mission. Sometimes, he'll hold a small piece of bread from dinner, not to eat, but to meditate on the Eucharist, the heart of Catholic faith. This ritual isn't about food, it's about connection, to God, to the Church, and to the faithful worldwide. From his oatmeal at dawn to this final moment, Pope Leo's day is a journey of faith, humility, and purpose. So, what did you think of Pope Leo's daily diet? Which part hit you hardest, his Chicago-inspired pasta, his simple snacks, or that sacred evening ritual? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. If this video opened your eyes, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more stories that inspire. Thanks for joining me, until next time, keep the faith.